Hello? I know God saved me for a reason, but I guess I'm still searching for what that reason is.
Immaculate, a movie that I went into with zero expectation and came out going, "Wow, that was quite the movie." So, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Is I went into this movie not knowing a thing. Like, I saw some advertisement, but I didn't see a trailer for it. But it wasn't until my editor actually said, "Hey, are you gonna go see this?" And I said, "I don't know, because I have absolutely no idea what this is." But then I went into, God, there was another movie. There was a Barbarian. Not really knowing what the film was, but kind of knowing to a certain extent. And with Barbarian, it did kind of what I was thinking it was going to do, but then it took a complete 180 and said, "Oh, there's a completely other movie going on here." And it was like, whoa, that was quite the movie. This kind of pulls that same card where it goes, I know absolutely nothing about the film, but you know what? I'm going to go see it, and, let's see what's going to happen here. So, the movie is about a woman who has devoted herself to faith, who is played by Sydney Sweeney, which, no, I have not seen Madam Web yet. I've not seen that yet, so, I believe this is actually the first thing I've seen her in. So, I haven't seen Madam Web yet, so, whatever. But she then goes to an Italy, like, courtside, where she is basically, volunteering to be there. But then throughout the film, the dark secrets, she slowly starts finding out what is actually in this place, and yeah, stuff ensues. Don't really want to give too much away, but ultimately that's exactly what I thought was that's what I was pitched, was just like, okay, it's a woman, she's devoted to faith, okay, she goes to Italy, and then that's all I know. Like, I'm gonna guess stuff is gonna happen. Okay, that's all I need to know. That's all I know right now. So let's see what's gonna happen. And while the film, it starts out, saying like, yeah, here's this information, and then I was kind of expecting the film to kind of go into a path that I'm like, can we try to avoid this, because I feel like it's been done a bit much, and it does. So I'm like, okay, but they pulled it around and said, okay, you know what, we're gonna do this, but let's put something new on this. And was liking what they were doing. I was really enjoying what they were doing. So it's like, okay, that's new. I haven't seen this before. So you're putting something that you're doing something that's been done a couple times. It's been done sometimes, but you're not just saying, "Hey, here's this. We know this. Let's just do it." They're looking at it going, "Okay, let's take this. How do we basically go into it and change some of the gears and rework this?" So it's kind of the same thing, but at the same time, it's doing stuff that's new and that you probably haven't seen before. And I was liking that. I was really enjoying that. So I also want to keep this kind of like, not want to say like what goes on, like what happens, and spoilers especially. So, because I think this is one of the few this is a movie, not one of the few, but one movie that I think if you go into not really knowing anything, it's quite an experience, like what I said with Barbarian. So, it works. It works on that same level. So the acting is very good. I really enjoyed that. And also, like, a lot of the scares or like moments that happen in the film, it's leading up to something, and you're just kind of going, Yep, something's happening. And at times, you're kind of just looking at it going like, oh, that's weird. And then something happens. You're like, oh, okay. Or sometimes the way they play out a scene where it's like you're expecting a jump scare and then that jump scare doesn't happen. And in some cases, you let your guard down and then that's when they hit you. So I like that. It doesn't throw jump scares in there for no reason. So I really enjoyed that. It was very much kind of like, like classic films where, tension is a good buildup, and you don't necessarily have to throw in a jump scare because you're tensing up a part of a scene. Or some of the classic ones, there's something in the background. So it's like, okay, we can all see that, and that's been done a couple times. And with this, there's parts where it's like camera's moving, and then you see something that's just like brief, and you're just like, whoa, 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 what was that? What was that? And they just kind of just breeze through it. So, if you see it, you immediately go, whoa, okay. Or if you don't see it, doesn't really affect you. But, I like how the movie, because I was going to the movie going like, okay, I'm, expecting this to be, at least be okay. But came out of it going, wow, that was actually a lot more developed than I thought it was going to be. And there's the very end of the movie, which I won't spoil it, but is definitely that's not going to go over well by a lot of people. Not going to say what it is, but it made sense. They didn't just do it just for the sake of doing it. And, especially if you really don't, not saying like can't handle, but you can't watch that kind of thing. It's like oh God, yeah, you're going to want to look away for that. I mean, it's not like you see it. Like you see exactly what happens. It's all kind of like off screen, so your mind kind of fills in the gaps. It's very much like Texas Chainsaw Massacre in some ways, where you watch it and you're like, oh my God, it's so violent, but there's really no blood in it. There's really no gore in it. I mean, yes, there are blood and gore in this and some definite brutality, but like I said, at the very end where they do something just like yep, well, that's terrible. It doesn't, they back off and go, yeah, we can't do this. We can't do that. Like, we're going to do it, but we can't do it we can't go all the way. And it's fine. It still works. So overall, movie, very enjoyable. Glad I did see it, especially since, started seeing people talk about it, and it was just like, okay, let's, we'll see how this goes. We'll see what they do. And was like, wow, okay, you guys, you pulled a card that has been done in movies for a while, but the way you guys did it is you basically reworked it and said, hey, let's take this, but, let's change it up. And it makes sense. And there's an engaging mystery that's going on that makes you scratch your head going, what is going on here? And there's definite parts in the movie that are just like, that's not good. That's nasty. And so you're constantly questioning it, like, okay, what is going on throughout the entire film, which I'm glad they did. And there was definite parts where I was like, yeah, I kind of expected this to happen, but they then make a left turn and go, hey, let's throw this in front of your face. And I'm like, wow, that stuck. That sticks. All right, cool. Let's keep this up. So, overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. It kept its time. It knew exactly how long it needed to be. And I give it a great, and it was definitely a movie where I'm like, wow, I went into it not knowing a thing, and somehow it worked. And I'm very glad that it did work. And, it just shows, like, sometimes the best movies are the ones hidden in plain sight, or the ones that, you know, you may not know about. You may know very little about it, but then you watch it and you're like, wow, that was quite an experience. Much like what happened with me with Barbarian. You know, like I said, like went into it going like, I kind of know where this is going to go. But then halfway through the movie, they pull you around and just go, oh, there's something else going on here, and a completely new movie. And it's connecting to the movie I was watching. Whoa, that's something. This, it's like hey, let's take something that we've seen before, but let's rework it and make it different at the same time. And I'm very glad they did, which improved the movie for me. And I wish more movies have done that. So, absolutely, I would recommend the film. And, yeah, really, really good.
Suffering. Yes, she loves.